Hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys? Episode 4 of Gothic 2, Night the Raven. Let's play. Let's start this up. I think we finished at Alwyn's place. We dealt with, what was that guy's name? Felon, right. Felon the Felon. Who wasn't, was quite reluctant in stopping hammering, but we teach that guy a lesson, so now he actually stopped hammering. Got a bit of XP and 30 gold coins for it. And now let's actually head on to Vatras. Talk with the guy, because actually Cavalorn asked us to pass him a message on. And we should get out of the harbor district just for now, just to see the town a bit.
Trees and animals were also washed away.
We're also washed away.
Deep sadness overcame Adonos.
Yep, me too, buddy.
Adonos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adonos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
Yeah, let's cover Cavalorn's ass, because we're not a snitch.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point, whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Alright, now's one of my favorite parts in this dialogue.
Terrible things are bound to happen soon.
Terrible things, hmm? How do you know this?
No, I heard rumors somewhere.
Aha! And that is why you have made this journey. Who are you really?
I'm an adventurer from down south.
Good. Let us summarize.
Fassen wir
You're
mal
an adventurer
zusammen.
from down south, who heard rumors that terrible things are going to happen, and you have come to report this to the Paladins. I think there's something you're not telling me. If you're worried I might pass on what you tell me, then let me reassure you. I have sworn to keep all secrets I am entrusted with to myself.
And what about all the people here?
They only understand half of what I preach to them, so don't fret. Let's start over at the beginning. What's that message?
Alright, now let's actually tell him the truth. Plus, he just reassured us that he's, we can confide in him. Dragons have come.
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardos, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer. So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
Even though Zardos asked us, plead to us that we shouldn't tell anyone, absolutely anyone, of his presence here. We actually need to tell Vatras, at least Vatras, of his presence.
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus.
Good. Let us summarize.
Also, wir
You
mal
are a former
zusammen.
prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country, and you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
Yeah, so that was our ticket to join the Ring of Water. We actually need to tell him the truth of who we are, who's sent us, and what's this message.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
Since you are not yet a member of our community, I cannot tell you everything, of course. But I shall tell you what I may.
Oh, I love this weather.
Who are the members of the Ring of Water then?
I cannot tell you that until you join the ring, but you will certainly have met some of them by that time.
Where are the other water mages?
They are exploring the ruins of an old culture northeast of Corinus. We suspect that those ruins might contain a passage to a part of the island which is as yet uncharted.
Tell me more about that uncharted area.
If you're interested in joining the expedition, I could send you to Vatras with a letter. You can only participate, of course, as long as you're one of us.
Of course. What exactly is it that you do?
We stand between the Order of Innos and the chaos of Beliar. If one of the two sides should gain the upper hand, it will mean either total loss of freedom or deadly chaos. Therefore, we guard the balance between the two. That's what makes life in this world possible for all.
And what does that mean in concrete terms?
The fall of the barrier has evoked numerous threats. The bandits are probably the most obvious one. Not only has it become all but impossible to travel the island without being attacked, there's someone in town, too, who supports the bandits. We have found out that the bandits receive regular deliveries from a weapons merchant in Corinus. We try to find such people and keep them from endangering the city. If you can find out anything about this, let me know.
Alright, so we've just got another quest on our hands.
About this weapons dealer. How much do you know about the weapons dealer?
Ask Martin, the provisions master of the Paladins, about this. He should be able to tell you more. He has been tasked with unmasking the weapons dealer. You can find Martin in the Harbor District. If you see a heap of crates, provision, and paladins, Martin won't be far.
Interesting weather effects. I think I've said that at least once before. What must I do?
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that. The great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Corinus these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Corinus is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However,
Yes?
you should take your message to the Paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
Alright, so we will be able to join the Ring of Water at some point, but first we need to finish up chapter 1 and deliver our message to Lord Hagen, as that sends us through to chapter 2.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The Ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that.
Defo.
About those missing people,
Yes?
where should I start looking for them?
Most of those people disappeared down by the harbor. That's probably where you should start your search.
Let me tell you what I know.
What have you found out?
Nothing important so far.
Alright. Excuse the long conversations, but yeah. We actually need to go through all of this in order. Everything will make sense. Don't like to skip dialogues.
Is there anything that could help me with my search?
You're a very persistent young man. But I actually can think of something that could make your tasks easier for you. I shall give you this ore amulet. You'll certainly be able to use it. It is an amulet of the searching Will-o'-the-Wisps. There are only very few of them. The Will-o'-the-Wisp that inhabits this amulet has very special properties. It can help you find things that normally elude the naked eye. You summon it by simply wearing the amulet. If it loses its power, or you cannot find it, simply put on the amulet again and it will reappear. The Will-o'-the-Wisp can detect weapons. It could be very helpful to you in investigating the weapons deliveries to the bandits. Treat it well, and it will never fail you.
A will-o'-the-wisp in an amulet?
Will-o'-the-wisps are admirable creatures. They consist of pure magical energy. They are bound to the magical ore in this world. It is their origin. It gives them their strength. I'm not surprised that you've never heard of them. They only appear to the person who bears the ore to which they belong. Will-o'-the-wisps living in the wild have been forcefully removed from their sources. They will attack anyone who approaches them. There is no way to help those pitiful creatures. You had better stay away from them.
Can the will-o'-the-wisp do more than that?
More than look for close combat weapons? Not unless you teach it. I think Riordian knows how to teach these beings. He is one of us, currently traveling with Vatras. Perhaps he can tell you more.
Alright.
Thank you. I shall take good care of it. I've got this stone tablet. Can you tell me more about it?
Those are artifacts from the old culture, which we have been investigating for some time. There are several kinds of them. Some contain information about the history of the ancient people, and that is the kind I am interested in. Bring me all of those that you can find. I shall give you an appropriate reward.
All right then.
Wait. If you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
Alright then. So we finally, after about 15 minutes, finished up our dialogues with Vatras. It was super important to do it. He has many things to say as he's one of the key NPCs in the game after all. And right, now we can start exploring.
Halt, stranger. I didn't see you come through this gate.
And?
And the guards on the other gate have orders not to let any unknown persons into the city.
Well...
I shall have a word with those two, but now for us two. I am Lothar, Paladin of the King and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town...
Notice how he changed his tone. This has been added in the add-on, Night of the Raven.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
You listen to the wrong people.
Alright.
All right. Explain the rules
Big
of the
sigh.
city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the Paladins. Only the Paladin. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
Nope.
You listen to the wrong people.
Nope, I'm good.
I've got to go.
As long as you're in Corinus, you can feel safe. The King's Paladins watch over this city now.
Well, thank God for them.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Alright. Don't want to pick a fight
You completely.
that early in the game.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
But no.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
Yeehaw!
I was actually on my way to see the Paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the Paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah. I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
I've heard of things.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
That's all I want, man. Just a bit of respect. Help me get it.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Is it really true?
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
That doesn't surprise me. I can't believe that.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Perhaps he's called Lee. Alright, what do you got? Nothing. We should find a place to sleep ASAP because it's getting dark. You won't mind. I'm sure you won't mind. Mr. Bosper,
Welcome
sir?
to my shop, stranger. I am Bosper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinus?
Well, I'm looking for work.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then? I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
What if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Herod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay it. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
Do you really believe that?
Alrighty then.
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
Alright.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
5 LP. Not sure we have 5 LP to spare.
I'm no better off myself. But he knew that all along.
He has some sexy bows. Right. We have just 3 learning points, but we're not that far off the next level.
He never would have
Let's
thought
just
about himself.
talk with some more NPCs. Till then.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
Desperate times, huh?
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Stop right there, you lowlife. Let's ask Bosper about that bow he lost, since we're so close to him.
I've heard that someone stole from you.
Who told you that? Probably Bartok, hmm? Didn't he have anything better to tell you? Oh, well.
Actually,
me
it
tell
was
you,
Regis.
if I get hold of this bastard, he can say his prayers. I left the shop for only a moment. When I came back, I could only just see him leave, with my bow on his shoulder. I called the guards right away, but the lowlife ran towards the harbor, and they lost him there. I lit a bonfire under their asses then, and they searched the entire harbor district. But they didn't find a thing. Those bumbling lackeys. I bet my bow is still in town somewhere. I informed the guards on both city gates, and they haven't seen anyone leave with my bow. When I get my hands on that bastard...
I can't believe that. I don't believe this is gonna change.
That's terrible.
Alright. So, another quest. Bosper's bow. Interesting trophies. I like the way they've designed this. Arrows, a couple of skins, a crossbow, 2 bows, a few nice looking trophies. So a shadow beast, a wolf, a fucking bloodfly hanging here over this this pillar. That's a strange choice, mate. A troll's head for some reason, and a fucking snapper over there. Interesting design, to say the least. Nice. Right, let's speak with Matteo.
What can I do for you?
This is going to be another episode in which we get to know the town and its inhabitants, talk to as many people as we can.
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
Nope, because we can just steal it from very close by. I'll do that a bit later on.
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
Ooh, I want to get my hands on those.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Thanks for telling me that. If you're lucky, I'll take them.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
What's interesting is that both in Gothic 1 and Gothic 2, one of the most important pretexts in the game, at least at the start of the game, is you have a message for someone, but you can't reach them because of limitations. Like in Gothic 1, you had a message from high mage that should be delivered to the fire mages up in the old camp, but access is restricted there. And in Gothic 2 you have a message for the leader of the paladins saying that dragons have come, a shitload of dangers is upon us, all of that, but you can't get into the upper quarter either. And even after you become a citizen, still don't have access to Lord Hagen. So interesting way of implementing sort of like the same motive at the start of the game in both Gothic 1 and Gothic 2.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here. But it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
You shark.
You shark.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But...
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
One thing at a time. First fulfill your part of the deal and bring me the gold.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
He won't think of anything.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Alright then. Sorted that. Who should we talk to next? Pablo.
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
If you say so, buddy. Thorben.
Hey. Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere. No work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
Oh, the winds of defeating the sleeper and breaking the barrier down. Just that sort of thing.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
Yeah, 'cause you're broke.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Of course, most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
Alright then.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
I'm not a layabout. With all due respect.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
Again, these tones are
He's my
changed.
nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Yeah, because he's a whore lover.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
That whore lover.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work. But I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so?
Yes, that is so. Yeah, we'll go to Greta before speak with him. But now let's meet the other two masters. First, there's Herod, the smith.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
Let's talk again about that orc thing.
What?
Your orc is as good as dead.
Good. Then stop wasting your breath and let your deeds speak for themselves.
Alright, and lastly, Constantino, the Mad Alchemist. What a coincidence that an alchemist in an RPG is extremely eccentric and a bit mad. Aren't they always?
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you going to sign up?
I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval? As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
Alright, that was easy.
I'm in need of healing.
Why? Are you injured?
Nope.
Not really.
Get lost then. You may well suffer an injury.
I'll whoop you outside the head.
Can I sell you some herbs?
If you have any to offer.
Show me your wares.
I didn't sell you anything, but still I've got 50 XP. Interesting. Alright, so we've met all of them. Now we can go to Greta, who is in this small house over here.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorben.
You have some nice clothes on you for a poor widow.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Funnily enough, you have to be a bit of a brute in this quest, and I like it.
Fork over the dough, or I'll slug you one.
You're nothing but a common thug. Go ahead, draw your weapon, and I'll call the guards. Why are you staring like an idiot? You won't dare to attack me anyway. Why are you staring like an idiot? You won't dare to attack me anyway.
I've come about Greta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Greta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see.
Let's see again.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Why are you staring like an idiot? Put away. Ah!
Oh, what do you know? She's got 100.
I agree with you completely. This is gonna change. That would be a problem. Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Matteo can get his money later.
Oh, alright then, just because we're a nice guy, all of a sudden...
Thanks. Now I have at least part of the money I owe Lamar. I can't believe she had the audacity to take my gold. From what I know of this little viper, I'm sure she'll run straight to the city guard and accuse you too. I shall see to it that the matter is settled.
Aw, that's so nice of you. So this is the way we escape the fine from Lord Andre and the city guard. But we had a different option to tell her that we'll simply sell her clothes and then I'll get 100 gold pieces and I'll give it back to Matteo. And she would have said, oh, shut up, you won't sell my clothes, I'll just give you the 100 and get out of my face.
You're a brutal thug. I want nothing to do with you. Lord Andre will hear about what you've done.
No, he won't. And now we need to go to Matteo. Hopefully we got some cash on us. Yes, we do. And give him the bad news, the good news. The good news, I guess. And give him money out of our own pockets.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Alright.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Alright then. Good to know, good to know. I think that's enough for today. Thanks for sticking by with me till the end. You take care of yourselves. See ya!